such a huge target and he was so close and so slow, how could you miss? The only misses I saw were a couple of eggs aimed at his face. That seemed like what he was most afraid of, getting hit in the face. He had his left hand in front of his face and his right hand cupped over his hearing aid, and he kept them there even though that left the rest of them wide open. But then an egg hit him in the crotch and you could hear the air rush out of him like a punctured tire, and he dropped his hands. Right off, 3 eggs hit him in the face. 1 on his right cheekbone, 1 on his chin, and 1 on the bridge of his nose. He screamed and brought his hands back up, but a second later, you could see blood between his fingers. I didn't know what to think. I mean, they were just eggs. How could eggs do that to a guy's face? It didn't occur to me that that was the difference between getting egged on Halloween and getting egged in late December. The eggs are harder and your skin's colder and tighter. I realize that now, but I didn't realize it then. I guess what I felt watching it was amazed. I was too amazed by the sight to feel anything else. I know I should have felt something else. I know I should have done something else, but I just watched it. I watched them pelt the guy with eggs until their arms got tired, until he dropped down to his knees, let go of his face, and was crawling back and forth. Blood was dripping from his nose, and still the eggs kept coming and coming. I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I just watched it. How could that be? I just watched it. What I mean is you could understand how the rest of them could get caught up in what they were doing, how their hearts could speed up and how they'd lose their minds. You could almost forgive it because they couldn't take a step back and realize what they were doing. But I watched it. I stood by and watched it. How could that be? It kept going and going, and I watched it, and I didn't do a thing or say a thing to stop it. One by one, the guys were running out of eggs. Danley crawled over to the garage door and pressed his face against it. The last few eggs hit him in the back, and then the eggs stopped, and it was over. Ponzini got real quiet. I mean, not even the wind was blowing, except you could hear Danley sobbing. It was a sickening sound. We were watching him and listening to him. The guys were huffing and catching their breaths, and Danley must have sensed it was over because he turned around and faced us. He sat with his arms at his sides and his back against the garage door, and he was bleeding from cuts under his right eye and the bridge of his nose. But then, out of nowhere, he started to smile. He was still sobbing, but I swear to God the guy was smiling. You could see his teeth, and you could see blood on his gums and in the creases between his teeth, and you could see tears and blood mixing together and rolling down his face. We were staring at him, all of us, and no one said a word for maybe 10 seconds. Then I heard Lonnie say, "Hey Jules, think fast." I glanced up just in time to see him flip his last egg underhand in my direction. I caught it in both hands and I held it. It was cold, but I could feel the yolk sloshing around inside. "Your turn," Lonnie said to me. I looked down at the egg and then up at Lonnie, and he was nodding at me, and I don't remember what I was thinking. But I looked at Danley, at how he was smiling, and I remember getting mad. I knew he didn't mean it, and maybe he didn't even know he was smiling, but there was something in that smile that got under my skin, and I felt the egg in my hand, and I knew it was a wrong thing to do, but I looked at Danley, and I looked at that bloody smile of his, and I threw the egg. I did it. I threw the egg. I knew it was a wrong thing to do, but I threw it anyway. It doesn't make any sense. I knew it was wrong, but I threw it anyway. I reared back and threw the egg as hard as I could. I missed him by about 3 feet. The egg hit the garage door about 3 feet from Danley's head and exploded. The shell disintegrated. There wasn't a trace of it stuck to the wood, and the yolk splattered like teardrops in every direction. It was a relief, to be honest, the fact that I missed, even though I knew I'd get teased, because I knew it was a wrong thing to do, and I knew, when I saw how the egg exploded against the garage door, how bad it would have been if I'd hit Danley in the face. I mean, as bad as I feel now, if I'd hit him, I'd feel that much worse. Why did you make me write this, Mr. Selkirk? To make me feel bad? Is that the point? Because if that's the point, then you win. I feel real bad. I did a wrong thing, a stupid thing. I'm sorry. If I could travel back in time, if I could live that day again, I wouldn't throw the egg. I wouldn't trick Danley into following me to Ponzini. I wouldn't go along with Scrambled Dope Day. But that's not how life works. You don't get do-overs. What do you want me to say? I know what you want me to say. Both of us know what you want me to say. I didn't miss. I didn't miss. I reared back, and I threw the egg, and I threw it as hard as I could, and I didn't miss. I hit him in the mouth. I hit him right in the mouth. It was me. I'm the one who knocked back Danley Dimmel's teeth. It was me. What did I do? God help me, what did I do? I knew it was wrong. I knew it was stupid, but I threw the egg as hard as I could, and I knocked back his teeth. The way he screamed, that scream is still in my ears. I can hear it. Right now, I can hear it. When he started to scream, we ran away. We left him there, sitting against the garage door with his teeth knocked backward, with blood pouring out of his mouth. Lonnie yelled, "Cheese it," and we ran away and left him there like that. I was the last guy out of Ponzini, but I was the first through the alleyway and out onto the sidewalk at Parsons. I could have kept going. I could have run the 2 blocks to Parsons Hospital and gotten help for Danley, but I ran straight home. God help me, I ran straight home. I ate dinner like nothing was wrong, and then I locked myself in my bedroom, and I thought I was going to vomit, but I didn't. I opened the window and felt a gust of freezing air against my chest. I thought about Danley still sitting against that garage door, sitting in the dark, with the blood frozen in his mouth, and I couldn't take it, so I told my mom I was going out for a minute. She gave me a weird look, but didn't ask why, except she told me to put on my overcoat because it was ice cold outside. I grabbed a flashlight and ran downstairs and back to Ponzini. But Danley was gone. I found the smeared blood where he'd been sitting and a bloody handprint, and then I saw drops of blood that led out of Ponzini. What did I do? What did I do? The guy never did a thing to me except want to play cards. He didn't even single me out afterwards. His mom told the school that neighborhood kids did that to him, and then the guidance counselor made a PA announcement about an incident. I think Victor Ponzini told his teacher who did it, and Ponzini's teacher told the guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor told Principal Chapnick, and then Principal Chapnick pulled us out of our classes and yelled at us and suspended us for a week, but that was it. Danley never singled me out. He knew my name for sure, but he never told. I did that to him, and he never told. What's wrong with me? Even when I passed him a week later, back out on his stoop, even when I saw him sitting there with black and blue welts on his face and with metal braces on his teeth, I didn't say I was sorry. I didn't say a thing. I just kept walking. I must have passed him on that stoop 100 times since then, and I never said another word to him. What's wrong with me? God help me, what did I do?